Tim Bale is Professor of Politics at Queen Mary University in London. Tim, welcome back. Is this a dead cert then? Will Andy Burnham be the UK's next Prime Minister?
I think it's difficult to see anyone else taking the job other than Burnham. I think the big question now is, what will Keir Starmer do? He's obviously promised people that he will stand in a leadership contest. I have my doubts, however. I wouldn't be at all surprised if over the weekend family and friends and some of his political allies might be telling him that to do so would be to risk humiliation, and it would be better, in fact, to organise some kind of peaceful transition, if you like, to an Andy Burnham premiership.
Would this just be a change of face in government, or would the UK government's policies substantially change on things like welfare, defence and foreign affairs?
That is the $64,000 question. I doubt very much that we will see much change from Burnham if he becomes Prime Minister in terms of foreign affairs. That is, I think, fairly settled. We do need to move closer to the European Union, but Burnham has ruled out any attempt to rejoin in the short term. He will obviously have to try and maintain the so-called special relationship with the US as well. In defence, the government is currently facing something of a crisis, in the sense that the defence establishment thinks more money needs to be spent in that area. The government hasn't come up with sufficient funds. Again, because Andy Burnham has suggested he's not going to be raising taxation, it's difficult to see him moving on that front either. I mean, overall, I think it's true to say that Burnham is probably slightly to the left of Keir Starmer, so one would expect him perhaps to want, in the long term anyway, to spend more and to find ways of raising revenue in order to do that. But he's been pretty canny and, frankly, pretty vague about what exactly he wants to do when he becomes Prime Minister, which, of course, does worry some people in the Labour Party, that it will simply be an attempt to communicate the same kind of policies, just better than Keir Starmer's been able to do.
Well, if that's the case, if not much is going to change, what's the point of dumping Starmer?
Well, that, I think, is a question that many in the Labour Party are asking. But it has to be said that politics in the UK, albeit in a parliamentary system, is rather more presidential now, in the sense that I think leaders do matter a lot more to voters. And Keir Starmer has been so bad at selling any kind of vision for the UK, and to be honest, his man management skills have been found wanting as well. Andy Burnham offers the opportunity of a better communicator, and someone who, generally speaking, in Manchester is well known for bringing all sorts of different interests together in order to get things done. So whatever, it's likely that I think Burnham will be an improvement on Starmer, even if the policies don't change, perhaps before the election anyway, as much as some people would like.
OK, well, that's the centre-left. Let's talk about the right-wing party Reform, previously flying high in UK local elections anyway. I mean, that's been pretty much brought down to earth in the last 24 hours. The UK obviously deciding it's not going to turn right.
Well, there is a lot in the media about how well Reform have been doing in the past few months, the last year or so. But even at its height, Reform's only getting around 30% of the vote. That means around 70% of people in the UK don't want Nigel Farage anywhere near number 10. And when it comes to these by-elections, we have seen, if you like, that 70% consolidate around any candidate who is capable of beating whoever Reform put up. We saw that in an election in Wales, we saw that in an election recently in Manchester, and we've seen it again now in Makerfield. So I think Reform does need to worry, actually. There does seem to be a willingness on the part of the anti-Farage, anti-Reform majority to vote tactically in order to prevent Reform winning a seat.
Tim, good to see you. Thank you for that. Tim Bale, Professor of Politics at Queen Mary University in London.